Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where today we're breaking down all the goals scored between Fluminense and Inter Milan. I think I'm saying that all right, Fluminense. I might just call them Flu as we go on. You'd never guess that I was a voice actor. You can check that in the description below, all the links if you don't believe me. Some of my pronunciation on words is awful, but thank you for all those people that hired me. Love you. Fluminense. So it's an interesting sort of thing here with the South Americans and the European sort of style of football, and you can really see a difference. And you hear this quite a lot where people say, oh, if they played in X League, they would just get battered. And Fluminense is one of those teams that would probably get battered. But I'm telling you now, if Inter Milan played in the Brazilian League, they'd probably get battered because the two styles are so sort of different from what they're used to playing. Their systems don't really work against each other. And I want to break this all the way down. And the other thing I want to point out is there's no one in the crowd. I mean, genuinely, there might have been a couple thousand people watching this game for a World Cup. It's embarrassing. But I'm not going to take anything away from Fluminense. I'm going to show you tactically a couple of the things that they do that's actually pretty decent. It's all run by Thiago Silva as well. You can see him at the back, instrumentaling everything that goes forward. Okay, but the reason why they would get battered is because a lot of the teams in Europe are very, way more structured. Okay, and you cannot do these certain things because eventually you get ground out. So you can get away with it in cup competition, but over a massive long season, and this is where people always don't sort of put their brain into gear. Well, what do you mean if you're playing in this league? Well, because it's for a long time, and after they've had 2 or 3 bad results, then they have a fourth, and then they have a fifth, and then they have a sixth, and it just keeps going and going and going. And the only way that you can keep that is with a good solid structure and a plan and a disciplined thing, so you've got something to fall back on. They kind of got it here defensively, but not attacking. And I'm going to show you a lot of their mistakes here when you're attacking, and you're going to see this. It's just sort of bleh, all over the place, and you can't play against quality, structured, organised teams and keep playing like that and expect to get results all of the time. You might in a cup competition. They're not going to win this, but they're going to do all right. I don't know who they play in the next round. PSG will win this. If PSG played these guys, PSG would wipe the floor with them. And I'm going to show you the breakdown on why as well. But I want to show you this right here. And this is the reason I'm talking about their lack of discipline. And it isn't defensively, it's attacking. People always go, when you go, oh, lack of discipline. No, it's attacking discipline. They don't know what they're doing. As this ball comes in here, see that flick? That is absolutely terrible. You've just flicked the ball into no man's land for a runner. You would never see that pass played in Europe. You're just not going to see it because they know the other player's just as athletic as you. That means you're in a foot race. That means now you've got to win the ball. It's just a mess. You're making football, and they won't do it because the percentages of receiving the ball and winning it are very low. Now, here's the other thing that Fluminense do very well. So they actually do something that most teams in Europe don't know how to do, and it's called tackling. Wow, think about that. So as you go on here, look, bump. It's another mess. First touch is awful. He tried to flick it to his teammate. He didn't, and he sort of bumbled it. It's just a mess. And you look at their organisation up here, but this is key as well because they almost play like two teams. They've got this lot here and this lot back here, and no one's here, right? It's kind of interesting. So as we move it forward, look, ends up getting it to him, but now it's a 50-50 challenge. Now, this is what you would expect an Italian team. We're having a chat in the comments about why the Italian teams aren't really good at defending, and it comes down to this. Tackling. There's millions of reasons, but one of the things that you didn't want to do against an Italian team is tackle because they were strong. You're going to get hurt. They're going to go in really hard every single time. So they come out with the ball all the time, and you just don't want to tackle with them because they're too strong and they're going to win the ball. That's been gone for about 10 years in Italian football because of, we're not allowed to tackle in football because I don't know why. Well, I do know why. You just don't say it. And then you come, look, 50-50, another mess. So we've had a flick that's a mess, with a bumble that's a mess, and a collision that's just a complete mess. There isn't a structure that they're going to go, okay, we're going to try to score this way. We're going to go into the half space, cut the ball back, and create opportunities doing that. We've just done a flick and a bit of a bumble, and off we go into the space in behind and hope that they make a mistake. You might win a game or two in a cup competition like this, but you won't win a league in Europe doing this because they will beat you. The problem is, though, Inter Milan have got no idea how to play against a team like this. This is why they would get destroyed in the Brazilian league. Like that 50-50 there, they wouldn't expect the in Europe for someone to go in as hard and actually win the ball. They wouldn't. And off they go. Now, this is the other reason, one of the big problems Fluminense have got up front is they've got no real pace. Look, this is the defender here in that little 50-50 challenge. And if this is any quality side, that's gone. This player's gone. You're just not catching them. You're not recovering. You're not catching them.
Through there, he is one of those players.
Get back, recover. Do you see that stutter step there? I'm going to replay that. Do you see how slow that movement is right there? Let's just see if we can rewind that ever so slightly. This is the moment. Watch his feet. Watch his feet.
One of those players on the.
Do you see how? That is all wasted time, and that has allowed the defender to get back in. Up front, they're just not quick enough. That ball should have been fizzed across to someone's feet. And great. Then we're off for a chance. What's happened? It's taken a lucky ricochet bump because the defenders got back. And look at the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, you should have more numbers defensively. This is unacceptable. Speaking of things unacceptable, I want you to watch this. As this ball loops, look, all he has to do is take a step backwards. He gets caught completely under the ball. If he's there, he heads this ball away. He's not. His feet are in quicksand. Now, again, it is hot. I don't know if you know the difference of when it's actually hot and not like, people in the UK don't really know much about the heat and stuff. They don't actually go around the world or live everywhere like I have. They don't realise how detrimental when you're in a comfortable climate and now you're in an uncomfortable climate, your legs become jelly and all that sort of thing, and they just don't move as quick as they normally would do. Look at him, he's just under the ball, just watching it, ball watching, waiting for his teammate to deal with it, waiting for the keeper to deal with it. Just absolute disarray.
Into the middle.
It's a decent header through the keeper's legs. You've got to give credit where credit's due. It's a tidy finish through the keeper's legs. But that, think about it, there's the flick over the top that was a mess, the little flick over there that was a mess, the little challenge that was a flick, a ricochet. You can't play football like that and expect to win a league. You might get lucky and beat a team or two if you're defensively sound, and I'm going to show you why they are just now. Well, before I get to that defensive stuff, I'm just going to keep this in order of the old timestamp up here as the highlights go in the game. And this is what I'm talking about, attacking complete and utter lack of discipline. Now, what you'll see is people go, oh, that was interesting. That was because they almost hit the... No, it's rubbish. Watch what happens.
Always on the
goes out wide here, boom. Right, immediately... If you know anything about how to score a goal, that ball needs to go into the space for this guy to run onto. You need to go back in. He cuts it back. You finish and we score a goal. Simple. Done. Why? Because a couple of things happen. One, as soon as the ball's played into the space, he's got to deal with it. No one else is close enough. He can't tackle him because if he does bring him down, chances are it's a yellow card or a penalty because he'll be up here, even further up. Brilliant. Okay. Well, we know that. This standard play. You can see it happening. That's not what happens. He ends up taking a shot. Okay? Well, that's the pass right there. That's the ball, not the shot. But you see, because the shot comes off and the keeper makes a save, everyone will go, oh, that's great. Well, it's not great because it's not something that you can replicate. It's not something that you're going to go, okay, we're getting an overload down this side every single time and we're going to make them come out of the middle and deal with my wide player to open up the middle, space in the middle to give us a better opportunity to score. Because if he takes this shot instead of there, he takes it there, he scores a goal. So here we go, boom, there's the shot. There's the wide player running in. Okay, if he was taking the shot from there, he gets himself a goal. He hasn't. So all of a sudden now the wide player's coming in who should have had the ball in the first place. And
he might go alone.
He just whips it. And everyone go, oh, it looks really, really good. No, it's a terrible, absolutely shocking. Ball should have gone out wide. He should have cut it back. Then we should have had a shot. Or he could have had a shot in the open space out here in the first place. And that's the difference in the discipline, where if they had that, they could have put into this. I mean, they could have at least got 1 or 2 more goals. I know it was 2-0, but they could have got 1 or 2 more goals. Up front, they just don't move that ball quick enough. They don't really have an idea and a structure of where they want the ball to go. A lot of the balls were just sort of flick chip balls, and hopefully someone's going to make a mistake and we're going to capitalize on it. Okay, so I want to show you this and explain it to you. Right, so they play with a back three, okay? With a left back and a right wing back. He's over there. You can see the shadow probably just about there. Thiago Silva runs the show. What he basically does is lets one of these players step forward into the middle zone here all of the time. Either one of these players can go, and he can be on his own. Perfect. All right. Well, then what they do up here is they have two people. They don't press. They just kind of cut the passing lanes down on the side of the field. Can you see this whole side of the field over here is open? Absolutely open. Because this is why someone like a PSG will rip them apart, because the ball will be in here, out here before you know it. Inter don't play that way. They don't move the ball fast enough. They're not going to exploit this problem. So then what you've got is you've got these three here that are slowly trying to creep up to meet these two. That's what these three do. And they slowly keep the passing lanes cut out so you can't get the ball through, and they squeeze the side of the field or wherever you are, and they just let these people sit here as a 5. And if the ball goes into this space here and one of these guys the defender goes with him and he stays chasing him. He doesn't try to get back into his shape, which is brilliant. He stays chasing the ball and hustling the player on the ball, and then the other two defenders act as two central defenders. It's really deep. Just going to show you a little bit more of an example of this. Look, now there's the 4. There's the one that stepped ever so slightly forward. Do you see that? These are the guys just trying to shadow and put pressure on the passing lanes, not pressuring the ball, just pressuring the passing lanes. Very different. They're not really trying to win the tackle yet. Look, can you see? He's not. He's just standing. What he's basically saying is, come beat me. The other, that's all they're really trying to do. Can you see, look, the difference? 1-2, marking the 1. He's kind of gone forward a little bit. And it's also on the transition, so it's not a perfect example. But then right backs come in, so you've got your 3, and he's over there covering. It's actually really decent. Look, you can see as it starts to roll, but this is the problem right here, and Inter didn't do it enough. Look, you can see how everyone's on that side of the field right there? Completely and utterly free. The ball was not played at pace hard, anywhere near good enough. I didn't watch a lot of the game. I did watch bits, probably about 15, 20 minutes tops, and every single pass I saw from Inter had no pace on it. You couldn't actually, there was no tempo of it. And people will say, oh yeah, but Fluminense were breaking up the play. They were only able to break up the play and get near the ball because the ball wasn't moving fast enough. And Inter weren't exploiting this space. Look at how many of their players are right there. Okay, that means you've got space over here, and you've got almost a third of the field over here, and they're not exploiting.
The last couple of minutes.
Look, in he goes. There he goes to attack. He should be going to attack straight away. But let's look at their defensive shape. Let's look at 1, 2, 3. We know he's going to be the 4th, and we got the 5th there, right? You can see the midfielder. Oh my God! Look, someone's telling someone what to do, and they don't score. Yes, look, he's got his hand up. Look, can you see? He comes over, jogs over, but they've still got the 3. The 1 can come over and pressure. And they've got a gap there. Does someone step? Oh no, they've got 4 there. Yeah, he'll step. What? Someone will come and step forward. I promise you. Actually, no one does. Well, there we go. Actually, he kind of does, but not enough. But they get bodies back. And more importantly, there's 4 bodies there in front of the goal to make the shot really difficult. Let's get on to the last goal. So Inter ended up playing like a Fluminense. This isn't what you do, right, in European football at any level, right? You do not do this. You do not just head the ball to no man's land. You head that ball to him, to him, to him, to him, or to him. You don't do this. If you don't know why you don't do that, yeah, you might want to think a little bit more about your football knowledge, right? You do not do that in the modern game. You could do that in the late 90s, early 2000s. You might get away with that. Not anymore. And you're about to see the reason why. You can see that they've squeezed up a bit. Here's the 2 that I was telling you about. And here's and that's the right back. He's moved up a little bit. You got the 2 and you got the 1, 2, 3, right? That's all you got. Boom. And here we go. Now, there's a problem. I'm going to show you on the other angle, actually, because I did watch the last little bit of this. And the Inter player, again, isn't trying to play the ball. He's trying to play the man. And if he just tries to win the header, he might have stopped this. Does it mean that Inter scores an equaliser and goes on? No, but you know what? It gives them a chance. And this doesn't give them a chance. That there doesn't give them a chance at all. Now, you know what I was saying about that sort of level of understanding of attacking football, of that they don't really have a cohesive plan in the system? That's why they score this goal, okay? Because if you're the goalkeeper, you're assuming straight away that this ball's going out wide, and it doesn't, and he scores. And this is one of the things I do like. Okay, so he takes responsibility. He's running through. And if you're watching this in any European game right now, you're expecting that player to run on there, him to pass it, and him to shoot it into the goal there. That's exactly what you're expecting to happen. Takes the touch and just slots it into the goal. You see the keeper, though, he's looking at that player on the run there, assuming that's where the ball's going to go, and they're going to make an extra pass, and they don't. They just punish straight away, which is actually quite good, because they didn't really have that much sort of pace to go past players. And again, that could have been the conditions, but yeah, tidy finish. He backed himself, left foot, into the corner, decent. One little bit here, it's not a great example, but it is kind of what happened in the parts of the game that I was watching. Watch where the ball goes. Look, as soon as it goes out, one of them triggers, off he goes to press, everybody else sits in, and yeah, they end up hitting the bar and going whatever. Overall, boring watch, just like most of the games I've seen in this. To be fair, it's hopefully we're going to get a couple of good ones coming up. I'm going to keep covering it. You're going to keep watching it, and I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.